Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Deepanjali Arora. I'm a Vedic astrologer, a tarot reader, and a healer. Today I'm going to discuss the transit of Jupiter. Now, Jupiter entered the sign of Aquarius on 5th April 2021, and it goes retrograde in the same sign on 21st of June 2021. So how does that affect us all? Before we begin, do remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel so that you do not miss out on any new notifications. I post regular videos about transits in Vedic astrology and pick a card readings. So please go ahead and check my playlist. Now, Jupiter is the Karaka for, or the significator, as we say in English, for good fortune, wealth, success, happiness, general well-being, children, and spouse for ladies. One can imagine that the transit of Jupiter will have a major impact on our well-being. The very nature of Jupiter is to grow. It expands. It expands whichever sign it is placed in, and it can also expand the planet it is placed with. Now, Jupiter is placed in Aquarius, and Aquarius is a very humanitarian sign of people coming together. It creates more opportunity for cooperation, collaborations, and understandings between people. Jupiter has been in Aquarius since 5th April 2021 and is now on 21st June, it goes retrograde. What does that mean? Jupiter will appear to be moving backwards, but that's not what's happening in the cosmos. This is an optical illusion, but of a great significance in astrology. Since the planet appears to be moving away from Sun and coming closer to the Earth, it makes it more powerful, but it is still not doing what it is supposed to be doing, that is moving forward. This retrograde motion will have different impact on different people. I have already made videos on the retrogression of Saturn. Saturn is already retrograde, and Mercury, and it's going to stay retrograde till the 23rd of June 2021. So these videos are in my playlist, so I suggest that you check them out as well. Now let's go through all the ascendants to know how this retrograde motion of Jupiter impacts each and every one of us. What you need to know is your ascendant sign and moon sign as per sidereal calculation, which is done in Vedic astrology. Now, in case you don't know that, not a problem. Write to me with your date, place, and time of birth. My email ID is flashing on your screen right now and is also mentioned in the description below, and I will let you know all the details. Now, note, if your moon sign and ascendant sign are different, say for example, your moon is in Taurus and your ascendant is in Leo, you need to listen to both the signs to understand the impact of this transit, right? Now, let's begin. Let's begin with Aries rising and moon sign. Now let's understand how this transit of Jupiter affects Aries moon and Aries Lagna. Now, for Aries sign, Jupiter rules their 9th and their 12th house, and it is sitting in the 11th house. Now, both these houses are related to travel, and Jupiter is sitting in the house of gains, which is wonderful. Aries will have a lot of benefits from travel and foreigners. You might also meet a guru or a teacher who gives you a new spiritual insight and can also completely change your ideology or beliefs. Either way, this will be good for you. Jupiter is aspecting your 3rd house, 5th house, and the 7th house. Relationships with the siblings will renew. This is a time for your network circle to grow, and you will get support and help that you need. Jupiter aspect on the 3rd house is favorable for those involved in social media as well. The 5th house aspect, which is this one, this is a 5th house aspect, will also help students, but they might change their stream and start to learn something entirely new. This is a wonderful time to do short-term courses to improve your skills. New romantic interest can also begin. For all those who are planning to start a family, this is a good time to get pregnant. 7th house aspect will also help those who are self-employed. New opportunities for collaborations will be presented, You may either leave an old partner or a new alliance can happen. Relationship and understanding with spouse will improve. And those looking for long-term partnerships and marriages, this is a good time. But since Jupiter is in a retrograde motion, it is advisable to take things slowly. Whatever new opportunity or relationship will present itself will become clearer post 14 September, when Jupiter moves back to the sign of Capricorn with Saturn. So do not be in any hurry. Now let's understand what's happening with Taurus Lagna and Moon sign. For Taurus, Jupiter is the ruler of the 8th house and the 11th house, and it is going in your 10th house. This is the time for deep reflection and spiritual awakening for all the Taurians. You're very interested in the study of occult during this time, but this transit brings in a lot of turmoil in your career, which is going to be actually good for you guys. There could be unexpected sudden changes and shifts in your career. It's a time for job or career change. Your focus is going to be career, which may also make you a workaholic. Your desire for isolation is also very strong during this transit. Jupiter is aspecting your 2nd house, 4th house, and your 6th house. You will be sorting out a lot of domestic issues during this transit. The 2nd house aspect will increase your earnings, but will give you sudden big expenses, which you will have to do for your family. Relationships with other family members will also improve, and you might get help in the work that you need. With the 4th house aspect, with the aspect on the 4th house, the focus is definitely going to be home. This is also a good time to invest in property or do some renovation or changes at home. Relationships with mother will improve. It is good time for mother's health and well-being as well. The 6th house aspect will create focus on health and fitness. If you have been struggling with some health issues, then you will find the solution and cure for the same. All those involved in litigation will get the necessary relief. It is good time to sort out all those legal issues. Remember, when a planet goes retrograde, things either move very slowly or very quickly based on your personal chart. Don't get frustrated because of delays, because things are starting to look up for you guys. So keep patience. Now let's see what's happening with Gemini Lagna and Moon sign. For Gemini, Jupiter is the ruler of your 7th and your 10th house, and it's sitting in your 9th house. This transit brings about a lot of positive changes in your work front. You have been going through a rough patch when Jupiter was in your 8th house, but now the load has lightened. You're going to get some good advice and help that you need. Your career is looking good. You're receiving the help and recognition for all the hard work that you have been putting in. For some, opportunities for work abroad will also open up. It is also a time for you to plan a long-distance travel. Relationship with spouse and partners will improve, and those looking to get married will meet their person, and it could be a long-distance relationship for most of you. For all those who are writers out there, it's time to get your work published. Jupiter is aspecting your 1st house, 3rd house, and your 5th house. The 1st house aspect of Jupiter will bring focus on your health, healing, and growth. It is a good time to start your fitness regime and stick to it. Your popularity and fame will also increase. The 3rd house aspect of Jupiter will improve relationships with younger siblings and friends. This will also increase your friend circle, and in fact, some very old contact might come back in your life. This gives you an opportunity to heal and renew those relationships. Also a good time to learn some new skills. The 5th house aspect of Jupiter, the aspect of Jupiter on your 5th house will bring in new romance and relationships. But guys, wait, do not be in any hurry, since retrograde Jupiter can cause delays and frustrations. You will have a better clarity with Jupiter when Jupiter goes back to Capricorn on after 15th of September 2021. This is a good aspect for students as well. They will do well in their studies, and all those looking for higher educations may go abroad to study. This is also a good time to plan a baby, my dear Geminis. Now let's see what's happening with Cancer Moon and Cancer Lagna. Now for Cancer, Jupiter is the ruler of your 6th house and 12th house, and it is sitting in your 8th house. This transit is going to bring in about a lot of changes in your understanding of things. You would like to be more private during this time, and there will be a deep knowledge about your direction in life. You will also be very attracted towards spiritual and occult studies. Since Jupiter, the Lord of 9th house, is sitting in the 8th house, it is good news for students. They will be very focused and ready to put in long hours, which will give them the desired results. Be careful of any health issue that might come up, since the Lord of your 6th house is placed in your 8th house. It's better to get second opinions. Jupiter is aspecting your 12th house, 3rd house, and your 4th house. The aspect of Jupiter in your 12th house will give you disturbed sleep, but especially when it goes retrograde. But you might have very prophetic dreams, which means the answers that you are seeking will come to you when you are asleep and your mind is fully relaxed. There is a strong desire for isolation, and many of you might go to some retreat or an ashram during this time. Your expenses are also growing. The aspect of Jupiter on your 2nd house and 4th house will bring finances and family in the forefront for you guys. You will have to focus on resolving family issues, finances, and work on your investments. Everything to do with wills, legacies, joint assets with your spouse, savings, and investments will play a major role. There is also a possibility that some of you will receive an inheritance or money from an unexpected source. The aspect of Jupiter on your 4th house is very good for family. There could be some sudden change in your home, and you might decide to shift your home base. Some of you may come back to your homeland since you have not been happy in your current situation. This will be a good move for you guys. But the retrograde motion of Jupiter can cause delays and obstacles. June and July could be a difficult month for some of you. It will improve post 15 September 2021 when Jupiter will transit in your 7th house. Now let's see what's happening with Leo Lagna and Leo Moon sign. Jupiter is the Lord of your 5th and your 8th house, and it is sitting in your 7th house. You have been dealing with a lot of family and health issues when Jupiter was in your 6th house. Now things are looking up for you guys. You will go get the help and support that you require from your partners and friends. You will find that partners are much more cooperative and helping you find solutions. For all those who are looking for relationships, this will be a time that you will meet with somebody. The Lord of the 5th house is sitting in your 7th house. This could be a long and happy marriage for some of you. But things will materialize for most of you only post-November when Jupiter goes forward. For those having their own businesses, new contacts and associations will be made. Since Jupiter, the Lord of 8th house, is sitting in your 7th house, there could be dramatic changes with your spouse. You might feel things are going out of hand and out of control, but it is a good time to let the things flow right now. Jupiter is aspecting your 1st, 11th, and your 3rd house. This is a time for a lot of gains and growth for all you Leos out there. 7th house aspect is bringing you close to very important network circles, and this will tremendously help you grow in work and have financial gains. For all those looking for job change, you might get into some big corporate jobs. The 1st house aspect of Jupiter is making you feel very optimistic about life. It brings your focus back to your own health and happiness. You guys need to start a new fitness regime, go to the consultants for help, and make those changes that you have been delaying for so long. Be careful of weight gain because remember, Jupiter expands. The third house aspect is good for communication with siblings and friends. Overall, Leo will be very outgoing during this transit, and this will bring in new opportunities for you. All those involved in social media, digital marketing, e-commerce, etc., will see a lot of growth. Entrepreneurs will also see wonderful opportunities and growth, and also some of you might decide to start your own business. But remember, any roadblocks that you might find will only be temporary. Watch out for June and July. When Jupiter goes retrograde, it is asking you to take time and not rush into anything. Since you guys tend to be impulsive, this caution will be good for you in the long run. Now let's see what's happening with Virgo Lagna and Virgo Moon sign. Jupiter is the ruler of your 4th and 7th house, and it is sitting in your 6th house. Jupiter will make you very busy, guys. You are already workaholics, and now you will be more so. The Lord of the 7th house is sitting in your 6th house. You might feel lack of support and understanding from your partners and spouse. There could be tensions and misunderstanding in the relationship during this time. Legal issues related to property and wills need to be resolved. Since Jupiter, the Lord of 4th house, is sitting in your 6th house, any changes in your domestic front might not go down very well for you. It's bringing in tension in your relationship with others around you, mostly your spouse and partners. It's time for you to focus on your health and nutrition. Since you're working long hours and not getting enough rest, your health might suffer. You need to put a proper routine in place. All the students going through competitive exams will get good results. Jupiter is aspecting your 10th, 12th, and your 2nd house. Jupiter is aspecting your 10th, 12th, and your 2nd house. The aspect of Jupiter on your 10th house is creating obstacles in your career. You're not happy by the way things are right now. The career changes that you want to make might hit a roadblock, but do not lose hope. There will be changes in work front, and it will get easier post-September. You might get promotions, recognitions, and a better job opportunity. Due to Jupiter's aspect on the 12th house, these opportunities might come from abroad, or you might be a little secretive about them. You need to be more honest with your boss and spouse, and this secrecy that you're having right now is also putting you in conflict with your co-workers. During this transit, many of you will plan and will be able to travel abroad. Be careful of your increasing expenses. You will have extra money and you will also want to do major buys. There will be increase in your family income as Jupiter is aspecting your 2nd house, but it will require a lot of hard work. You will be sorting out many financial issues during this time, which you are very good at. You're going through a lot of stress and anxiety during this transit, but be patient. Things will start to look up when Jupiter goes direct post-November 2021. Now let's see what's happening with Libra, Lagna, and Moon sign. Jupiter, the Lord of your 3rd and your 6th house, is sitting in your 5th house. Jupiter can be a challenging planet for Libra since it's the Lord of the 3rd house of siblings and communication and 6th house of stress and litigation and conflict. But it is good news for you guys because it is placed in your 5th house of happiness, comfort, and Purva Punyas, which is benefits from the past life deeds. You will reap the benefits of the work that you have been doing when Jupiter was in your 4th house. You have been going through a difficult time in your family life where you have felt restricted and helpless for some time. Now you guys can take a sigh of relief. This transit will be very beneficial for children and students. Your children might leave home for higher studies. Problems or challenges faced by your siblings will get resolved. This is also a good time for you to start work on your creative projects. Many of you will feel very confident about taking risks, but be cautious and do not play the stock market, or at least till Jupiter is retrograde in 5th house till September 2021. For all those who want to start their family, this is a good time. Jupiter is aspecting your 9th, 11th, and your 1st house. This opens the doors for new beginnings and new experiences in your life. You will feel very confident and optimistic about yourself and your prospects in life. Jupiter is aspecting your 9th house, which will bring long distance travel opportunities. Some good news from your father or well-wishers is also expected. For all those who want to pursue higher education, this is a good time. It is not, if not, then you will be interested in doing some courses to improve your skill sets. The aspect of Jupiter in your 11th house will be particularly beneficial as it brings in gains, growth, and potential for new income, help from the network circles, and increase in your social life. Your friends will be very helpful to you during this time. Your creative projects will take off and will be successful. The aspect of Jupiter on your 1st house will bring your focus to your health and well-being. Your health has not been so good due to the stress that you have been facing. But now you're going to be on top of the things. It's time to join some fitness classes and take extra care of your nutrition. But remember, when Jupiter moves back to your 4th house and joins with Saturn on 15th September 2021, then everything in your home life will fall in place. Till then, enjoy the release that Jupiter has given you, right? Now let's move on and see what's happening with Scorpio Lagna and Moon Sign. For Scorpios, Jupiter is the lord of your 2nd and 5th house and is moving into your 4th house. Jupiter brings focus to your family. You might be planning to move house or buy a new one. There is harmony in the relationships at home. Mother's health or relationship with mother can play an important role. Your family income will improve and relationship with your family members will be cordial. You will receive the help from your family that you need. Jupiter is aspecting your 8th, 10th, and your 12th house. There could be sudden changes in your home front due to Jupiter's impact on the 8th house, and you will need to make quick decisions. But be careful and don't be in a hurry to sign any document till Jupiter is retrograde. Jupiter is the lord of your 2nd house and of income and is aspecting your 12th house of losses. Be extra careful about the expenses that you make because Jupiter has a tendency to overspend. There is also a lot of growth in your work front since Jupiter is aspecting your 10th house. There could be a change in job, promotions, or projects which you have been stuck will take off. Overall, you will do very well on the work front, and there could be minor setback and roadblocks, but things will get easier post July 2021. Many of you will find very good home-work balance in your life during this time. There will be also time for spiritual growth and pursuits. Your interest in occult studies like astrology, numerology, energy healing, etc. might increase due to the aspect of Jupiter in your 8th and 12th house. You will want to keep things to yourself and have a little more private time. It will be good for you to spend some time alone or travel as it will help you handle your family better. Now let's move on to Sagittarius, Moon and Ascendant. Jupiter is the ruler of your 1st house and your 4th house, and it is sitting in your 3rd house. Jupiter in this position helps you resolve conflicts with your siblings and close friends. If there has been a tension in the relationships before, it will get resolved during this transit. Jupiter is sitting 12th from your 4th house. Many of you could be planning a move away from your home during this time. It could be a short travel or long travel depending upon your individual charts. In the 3rd house, Jupiter definitely makes you feel very confident and courageous. Jupiter is aspecting your 7th house, 9th house, and your 11th house. It is a good time to resolve any issues or misunderstanding related to partners or spouses. You will now have opportunities for your business to grow since the marketplace is opening up for you. Jupiter aspecting your 7th house will also bring in new work possibilities. Those seeking new relationships will also be successful in meeting potential marriage partners. This could be from a foreign shore or from your network circles. It could be, but it could be that you are not very keen on settling down and Jupiter is in your 3rd house right now. But things will start to get clear once Jupiter goes direct on November 2021. Till then, you will keep checking your prospects. Jupiter aspect on your 11th house brings in financial gains. It also increases your network circle of friends who will help you grow. Meeting with old friends, making new ones, you guys are going to be extra busy as your social life is going to take off. All those looking for new jobs and will get new placements that they desire. Jupiter aspecting your 9th house will open doors for new learnings in your life. Travel opportunities will come up, which will create new awareness in you about your path in life. This transit is especially good for those involved in online work like digital marketing, social media, etc. But when Jupiter goes retrograde, be careful of what you post on social media. Don't say what you might regret later. Now let's move on to Capricorn Moon and Capricorn Lagna. Jupiter is the lord of your 12th and your 3rd house, and it's sitting in your 3rd house. Since Jupiter is the lord of 12th sitting in your 2nd house, some big expenses are coming your way. You need to do some changes in your financial planning, but it will work out for the best. Also be careful about your over intake of food. You are generally not an overeater, but you might have erratic eating habits during this transit. You might feel some distance or stress related to your siblings. Jupiter is aspecting your 6th, 8th, and your 10th house. Jupiter's aspect on your 8th house will help you resolve many financial issues related to family, be it joint assets, inheritance, wills, legacies, etc. Everything to do with your spouse as well. This transit of Jupiter will make you concerned about the family finances and security. This is not always easy since Jupiter is also aspecting your 6th house of conflicts and challenges. Expect conflicts with your co-workers. It could be that your spouse or partners don't see eye to eye during this time. And this can cause a lot of stress and tension in the relationships. You need to be extra careful about your health since all the anxiety that you're going through will eventually affect your health. But on the other hand, Jupiter will also help you find solutions for any health issues that you might be facing. And it will not allow things to go out of hand. Jupiter's aspect on your 10th house is very good for your work. You will see growth and appreciation in your work. New job opportunities will come up. Some might join family businesses. You might also begin something new altogether. Overall, a good time for professional growth and success. Things might take some time to settle and give you results that you aspire for since Jupiter is retrograde, but don't rush into anything. Things will become clearer post-November 2021. Now let's see what's happening with Aquarius, Moon, and Ascendant. For Aquarius, Jupiter is the ruler of the 2nd and the 11th house sitting in your 1st house. This is a wonderful time for your growth and expansion for you guys. New financial opportunities will open up. Network circles will increase and prove very beneficial for you guys. Your family savings will also increase. Your entire focus during this transit will be on self-growth and health. You are more out there and getting noticed. it is as if you have come out of shadows. You are being more social and feeling much more happier. But be careful, Jupiter in the first house can cause weight gain during this transit, since Jupiter expands. Jupiter is aspecting your fifth, seventh, and your ninth house. For all those looking to get married, now is the time. Jupiter's aspect on your seventh house is very beneficial for long-term relationships. For those already in one, will see a renewal and more openness and trust in their relationship with their spouse and partners. You might plan a long-distance travel with your spouse too. This aspect is also very beneficial for businesses and for those who are self-employed. New opportunities and openings will come your way. Jupiter's aspect on the fifth house is good to start a family. Many will plan a child during this time and pregnancy will go smoothly. New romance can also knock your door. Wonderful time for students since Jupiter is aspecting your fifth and your ninth house. All concerns and worries will fly away. You will get good results and you will also take up higher education which you want to pursue. All a very good time for all the Aquarians out there. But since Jupiter is retrograde, things might not materialize very soon. You will get clarity post-November 2021. Now let's move on to Pisces. For Pisces, Jupiter is the lord of your first and your 10th house, and it is sitting in your 12th house. This is a time when you will need to spend some time with yourself. You will need to go out on a retreat to recharge yourself and reassess your life. This will also help you lift the weight of your mind. What's pulling you down right now are domestic concerns, maybe related to your mother, job, your own health, litigation, wills, and legacies, but most of them are quite exaggerated. But still, they are causing you a lot of stress. Travel will be very helpful. Going on a holiday or to a foreign land will give you a new perspective about your fears. Jupiter is aspecting your 4th, 6th, and your 8th house. Due to the aspect of Jupiter on the 4th house, you will feel a bit removed and distant from your family. Some of you could also travel abroad to move house or settle there, or else you might be away from your home for an extended period of time. The aspect of Jupiter on the 6th house can increase discord and conflict within the family and partners. You do find it difficult to relate to your co-workers as well. This is also happening because you are being very quiet and secretive about what you really want. This creates confusion and tension in the workspace. This will affect your health, so be careful and take proper care of any ailment that might come up during this time, which can have an adverse effect on your work. You might decide to leave the job or start something entirely new. Jupiter's aspect on your 8th house can bring forth some deeply buried secrets or wounds out in the open. You might get to know some secrets about your family. This is a perfect time for healing. These insights will eventually help you deal with your life better. Your interest in spiritual and occult will increase. It's beneficial for you to study astrology during this time, like energy. It is beneficial for you to study astrology, energy healing, and tarot during this time. The best way to work with the energies of the 12th house is to become more spiritual and religious. It's time for you to devote yourself to prayer and meditation. Though this is a stressful time for you guys, but it is also a time for new self-learnings and spiritual insights about your life and life's path. When Jupiter moves back to your 11th house, post 15 September 2021, you will be able to see things more clearly and make important financial and personal decisions. So this is it. This is my analysis for the Jupiter transit going retrograde in the sign of Aquarius for all signs. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Do remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your time. Bye for now.